Thanks for joining us today. I'm Gabe Garish, owner of Backwoods Pursuit, and today we're going to take a look at the Argali knife collection. I've got all three of the Argali knives here. We're going to go over the differences and what makes these distinct from one another. First, we've got the Argali Carbon Knife. This was their first one. And then recently, the ones that have come out here is the Argali Serac and then the Argali Col knife. As you can see, they're a little bit different in some of their sizes and features. You're going to want to stick around to see what makes these different here. I'm going to go over those. As always, really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I'll put links to all that down in the description and links to these knives for you so you can check them out if you'd like. Let's get started. All right, so let's dive into what makes these different and why Argali made three different knives. First, let's take a look at the differences in the handle. Here you can see different thicknesses just a bit. This is the Serac, and it has a handle very similar to the Carbon, but the difference I've noticed here between these two is the Carbon and the Serac. It seems like the Serac is just slightly thicker, not by a lot, but just a touch there. Now, if you contrast that to the Col here, which is the most skeletonized of the group here, you can tell it's very, very different. It's a true skeletonized. It's Cerakoted from tip to tip, so you're not going to have that nice G10 handle that the Serac and the Carbon both have. Now, flipping these around, you can see that all three of them feature the jimpings back close to the handle here, as well as out on the tip of the blade, which is really nice for when you're getting into caping, getting your blade into the joint, that sort of thing, or if you need to really control it and up in the back straps or whatnot, that's really good for that. They all three feature that, as well as they all feature that same grip right in the pocket here where your finger grips right in there, and it really grabs really nicely and gives you that extra control of the knife. So putting these all three side by side on the bench here, you can really start to see some of the differences. Here, the Col you can see is a straight blade design. Really good for caping, getting that into the joints, that sort of thing. The Serac here does have a bit of a curve along the top, similar to the Carbon right there, where you've got a bit of a curved blade. You can see that there. You can also see on the Serac here, you've got a thicker blade than you do with the Carbon right there, and certainly thicker than the Col. These two are somewhat similar, but some folks really prefer that thicker blade that the Serac is going to give you. And again, they do have a similar handle there between the Serac and the Carbon. All right, let's go ahead and throw each of these on the scale. This here is the Serac. It's supposed to weigh in at 2.1 ounces according to specs, and we've got 2.179. Very good there. The Col is supposed to weigh in at about 1 ounce according to the specs on Argali's page, and we have got 1.13. Last up here, let's put the Carbon on there. I believe it's supposed to be 1.8 if I recall correctly, and we got 1.95 on that, so super close on all of those weights from Argali. Now let's throw these in the sheath, so I'll give you the actual weight with the sheath, because let's face it, you're going to be putting these in a sheath when you are having them in the field. So this is the Carbon with the sheath. You've got 2.94 right there. So that's still a super light knife. The Col here with the sheath, throw that on there. We are at 1.79, super light obviously. And the Serac with the sheath comes in at 3.14. So all super light knives and fantastic for your all-around needs. Now, one feature I wanted to point out on the Serac here is you have a cutout for a ferro rod there built into the knife, which is super handy if a ferro rod is something you like to take with you for that extra fire starter. So if you take one of these guys with you, it's right there to use in any situation. You don't have to have matches. If it gets wet or whatnot, obviously you're good to go there. As you can imagine, using that ferro rod here gets a little bit of that residue on the edge of the knife here where the striker goes. So Being that the steel that they use here is real high quality, go ahead and just wipe that off. It comes right off. Now, as far as the steel on all three, as you can see, they all feature the S35 VN steel, super high quality steel. I was able to get through an entire elk last year with the carbon knife here. Really didn't even need to sharpen it. I did touch it up on my boot though, just to strop it a couple times on the boot leather. This is really designed to be your all-around knife. If you just want to buy one, you don't even need a backup, that's a great knife. The Col really here is designed to be your ultralight style knife. It could get through an elk easily, obviously same steel as the other two. It's just in a skeletonized handle. It's not quite as comfortable, so doing an entire elk with that might wear your hand out a little bit faster, but it's still a fantastic knife. With those jippings there, you can really get a good grip on that 1 ounce. If you've got it, throw it in as a backup just because, hey, why not? The Serac here is probably the most comfortable, I would say, in the handle. It's a little bit, I think, it might not even be, I might be wrong on this, but it feels just a touch thicker than the carbon in the handle. It might not be though. The blade certainly is thicker. It's more designed for your skinning style, but really you've got the drop point there. You can have this be your one knife for all situations as well. Just a fantastic knife setup. Now finally, let's look at the price point on all of these. The carbon comes in at $199. The Col comes in at $179. And the Serac comes in at $209, but you do get that extra feature of the cutout for the ferro rod. So kind of nice that way, and is a little bit bigger blade, a little more steel involved with that. They all come with a couple of choices of sheaths, some more than others, but they all do come with the sheath. So drop us questions, comments, let us know which one would be best for your purposes. Love to hear your feedback. Thanks for watching here today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll put links to all that down in the description so you can check these knives out for yourself. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.